Welcome to The Way It Unfolded. My name's Izzy. This week, I'm joined by Jess from the UK for an important conversation about mental health. In part 1, we chat about mental health in schools, the support that's available for young people, our question of the day, and Jess shares her top 3 favourite songs. Trigger warning. In part 2, Jess shares her personal mental health journey. This section includes discussions of suicide, self-harm and recovery. Please listen with care and feel free to skip this section if these topics may be difficult for you. Thank you for being here and let's get into it. Welcome to the show, Jess.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
You're very welcome. It's very nice to have you on the show. I've been waiting for this for ages.
And me, I've been so excited. I've been talking about this non-stop.
Me too. So, how are you doing?
I'm doing okay today. Thank you so much. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, thanks. This week has been crazy, to say the least. Another crazy week. How's your week been?
Also very crazy. It's been a very long week this week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What's been the highlight of the week for you?
There are so many things to choose from. I'm gonna have to go with seeing Waitress yesterday.
Oh.
That was really good. It was really funny.
How was it?
It was really good. It was a bit awkward because I didn't know how many dirty scenes were in it, and I was sat next to my dad, but it was still an incredible show. It was really good.
What was your first reaction when it started?
As in, like, the start of the show?
Yeah.
I mean, from the get-go, I was laughing because they have this, like, song at the very start that's telling you, put your phones away, otherwise everyone is going to hate you. And it was just such a funny song, and so we were laughing right from the start. It was so good.
Oh, that's good. What was your favourite moment in the show?
There's a song on TikTok, and it's like, I can't remember the words, but it's called She Used to Be Mine, or She's All Mine, or something like that. And I didn't know that was from Waitress until I heard Carrie singing it on stage. So that was probably, like, my favourite moment, to be like, oh my god, I know this song, Carrie singing it is incredible. So that was probably my highlight of the show.
What song stood out to you the most?
From Waitress?
Yeah.
Probably that one. I can't remember what it's called. I think it's called She's All Mine, or She Used to Be Mine, or something. It's like she's pretty, but she lies. I like that one. Do you know what I'm on about?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Yeah.
This is probably an obvious question, maybe not. I could get surprised, but what character did you like the most?
I mean, like, character from the show is Jenna, because she's iconic. But, like, a non-character thing that was, like, my favourite part of the show is the banjo on the stage, and the person doing the piano was, like, so cool. Like, my eye was on her most of the show. I know she's not technically a character, but that was, like, it was so cool to just watch the band do their thing. I loved that.
Yeah. Did anything surprise you about the show?
Everything. Like, there were so many plot twists, and I was, like, on the edge of my seat the entire time because I hadn't seen it before. So, like, I don't want to give any spoilers, but everything surprised me about it.
Would you go and see it again?
Yes, 100%. Yes, I would.
If you could play any character in Waitress, well, who would it be?
Oh, that's a good question. Probably Dawn. I feel like
Why?
I'm kind of Dawn. She's just very, like, I see a lot of myself in her, but I don't know why. I just do. I don't know how to explain it, but yeah.
Makes sense. Because when you see yourself in a character, you automatically connect with them, and it's...
Yeah.
Okay, now we're going into a bit more general, like, teen mental health, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Since today's episode is about teen mental health, obviously, what does good mental health mean to you?
To me, it's being able to get out of bed in the morning, go about your daily tasks, and socialize with the people that you, like, care about and that you want to be around.
Do you think people our age or are more open about mental health?
I feel like it weirdly depends on the area you're from, because I feel like where I'm from, like so many people have to hide it because of the way our parents were, like our parents' ages. But if we're from a place where our parents are a lot younger and they relate to us a bit more, I feel like they can be more open about it because their parents understand, if that makes sense.
Yeah. What do you think affects teenagers' mental health the most?
Probably other teenagers, from my experience at least.
Mm. So would you say like bullying or?
Yeah, definitely like bullying and like just the way people like discreetly bully. I don't know how to explain it, but
Yeah.
when people are like silently bullying you, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's kind of, you know, the movie Wonder, the Augie Pullman.
Oh yes, I love that
It's a
film.
bit like, you know, the character Julian.
Maybe I haven't seen it in years, but I
There's a
think I know.
there's a character called Julian, and he's nice in front of like the adults, and then
Yeah,
in front of the kids, he's a totally different character.
yeah,
It just they portrayed that story of bullying very, very well.
yeah. It's also when they're like fake nice to the kids as well. Like when one kid is fake nice to the other one, but the other one knows that it's fake. So it's like, I don't really want to have this conversation with you. But if someone else was to walk in not knowing it's fake, it all seems okay. So then it's like,
And then
you
it
can't
makes the
do
person,
anything about it.
and then it makes the person who knows it's fake look bad because they're like, "Whoa,
Yeah.
step back," and you're like, "But they're being nice."
Yeah.
um, do you think social media makes it better or worse overall?
I think it definitely has an effect from both sides, but overall it makes it worse.
Yeah. What are some small things that help you when you're feeling stressed or overwhelmed?
One thing that I've been doing recently is going to read while watch the sunrise and like the
Mm.
sunset. And it's been pretty calming to like just be out in the nature in the middle of a field and it's just beautiful and I love it so much.
Yeah, I know my dad's in the car on the way to work listening to this, but Jess and Lynx, did them stay up for it or?
I think I'm went to sleep, I think.
Yeah, but we stayed in our mods chat and we stayed up and watched the sunset, or not sunset, sunrise.
Yeah.
And I didn't get a sunrise, knowing Irish weather. But you got
Yeah.
the pretty sunrise, so I got to see your sunrise.
Yeah. It was so gorgeous.
Mm.
It really just sets my mood for the whole day and just sets me up to have a good day.
Hmm.
Yeah.
What is it? My mum used to say something, a red morning is a shepherd's warning. So it's going to be like,
Yeah. Pink sky at night, shepherd's delight. Red sky in the morning, shepherd's warning.
mm.
That's the one. My mum said it as well.
I think it's just a thing parents say. Like
I think so, yeah.
sometimes I wonder if they have their own group chat, say this to the kids, great advice.
Honestly, sometimes I think, like, my mum will say something and I'm like, "Where on earth did you get that from?" And I'm like, "How does one saying get passed down from generations?"
Do you think schools do enough for student well-being?
I think they try hard, but they don't do enough at the end of the day.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
they want to help, it's just they don't have the right equipment or tools to do it.
Yeah.
And
And especially with how little money they're getting from the government at the moment. Like, the teachers are all sat there like, "Oh, we can't buy new chairs." Like, some of my classrooms don't have enough chairs, so we have
exactly.
to find an empty classroom to go get chairs, and I'm like, if you can't afford chairs for your classroom, how are you gonna afford to support teenagers who are struggling in school with any reason? How are you gonna afford to help them when they need it?
Hmm.
Like,
Because
yeah.
in my old school, they spent like 9,000 quid on phone pouches, and
Oh,
that money could have been spent on teen support.
yeah, it should have been spent on teen support if you ask me.
Why
Yeah.
wasn't it though? That's the question.
Apparently, the government's making a new rule that, like soon, that every student in school either can't have their phone on them or it has to be in a pouch or in a safe. My school has safes,
Mm.
so we have to hand our phones in the morning and get them back at the end of the day. And it's the worst rule I've ever had in my life. Because if I don't have my phone on me, my anxiety already goes up by like 10 levels. So I'm already on edge all day. and then one tiny thing can knock me over, and then it's just my reactions are so much worse than they need to be simply because
Yeah.
I don't have my phone, and I feel like they don't understand that, but it is what it
Yeah.
is.
But you know how you have the phone in the safe all day, right?
Yeah.
What's stopping the student from taking a different phone into school? Why bring that in that rule when you know they're going to put a fake phone in the safe?
See, that's what I was thinking, but if you get caught with your phone on you, it's an after-school detention. Like,
Mm-hmm.
so if you like hypothetically got caught on your phone by 3 different staff members in the same day, you've probably got like 3 after schools in one day. Like, I don't know if that's right, obviously, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So I feel like most of the students are like scared of the fact that they could get an after school, so they don't want it on
Yeah.
them, if that makes sense.
You would
But
never
like
do
I say, some students, I would never do that. Some students even leave them at home, which I did the first day, and I was like, I'm not doing that again. It was really scary.
Yeah, because you need to call like your mum or dad after school or whatever.
Yeah. And I pay with my phone to get the bus, so I have to have my phone on me, which I don't get the bus anymore because I don't like the people on there. But if I was still getting the bus,
Yeah.
yeah.
Guess what time of the show it is?
Question of the day.
Yep.
Yay! My favourite part of the show.
Yay. So last week's question of the day was, if you could only watch one musical for the rest of your life, what would it be? Are you ready for these answers?
Yes.
So my sister Eva, my mum and dad all said Les Mis.
That's fair. I haven't actually seen it.
Really?
No, I've been meaning to watch it because it's on Amazon Prime or something, but I've just never had like 2 hours to spare.
And then Official chose Sound of Music, which
That's a good one.
iconic. And
Yeah.
then my friends Sadie and Grace both picked Mamma Mia. I said Mamma Mia when I announced the question, so I agree with that.
Yeah.
Lily said Heathers.
Yes, I do love Feathers.
Momo said he doesn't watch musicals. Momo, not good enough.
Really.
I'm joking. Sorry, Momo.
Love you,
Holly
Mama.
chose Six. Iconic.
Yes, I love Six. It's so good.
Eleanor chose Matilda.
That's a good one.
Olivia and Katie chose Grease.
Oh, yes, I love a bit of Grease.
And then Jess chose Why Am I So Single?
If you didn't choose this, what you doing, honestly?
Oh, then we have a popular one. Aoife, Kitty, and Ava all chose The Greatest Showman.
Oh, that is a good one. That's quite iconic.
Yeah, and then other Lily chose Hamilton.
Yes, you can't go wrong with Hamilton.
Bridget chose Phantom of the Opera.
Oh, that's a new one for me. I haven't heard that.
Meg chose Little Shop of Horrors.
That's a good one.
Courtney chose Dorian.
Oh, I've never heard of that.
Really?
Is it good? I don't know
I
anything
don't know.
about that.
And then
Sounds
Jack
really
Neal, also known as Jack Harisha, who streams Puzzle Connect for all types of different games, Tower of Hanoi. He
Yes.
chose the Book of Mormon.
That does sound like a Jack thing to do.
It does, to be fair, doesn't it?
I can't think of anyone else who would say that other than Jack. That's in a compliment way, Jack, I promise.
Yeah, you can go find his streams at Jack Harisha, Jackherita. That's how we met. Well, no, we
like
met through Anna.
Margarita.
Yeah.
We did.
We met through Anna, the best mod. Sorry to the other mods. Oopsies.
I'm not sorry to the other mods. Anna is the best mod, full stop. That's what it is. It's just the rules.
Sammy also chose Phantom of the Opera.
Oh, yeah.
She said she loves the emotional story, the unforgettable music, and the complexity of the Phantom as a character, and that is a musical she could watch over and over again.
That's convinced
Dedication.
Me to...
Hannah chose The Greatest Showman,
yeah.
saying it shows the importance of embracing who you are and following your dreams, even if it doesn't fit society's expectations.
Yeah, that's quite iconic.
Are you ready for this week's question of the day?
Yes.
What's one thing schools could do better for student mental health?
That's a brilliant question. Am I answering first?
Yes.
Okay. So I kind of have a long answer, so bear with me. But I would change the whole system so that you don't have to get as low as you have to be to get help. Because, like, from my personal experience, when I was in year 7, I said to people, I was like, I'm struggling. I've got really bad anxiety. I think I need some help. They gave me 1 session and then I moved on with my life. And then the next year, it came out that I'd been self-harming and attempted suicide. And by the time they'd figured that out, they were like, "Oh, maybe we will give her a little bit of help." But if they'd have, like, helped me in year 7, it wouldn't have got to the point where I was so close to, like, wanting to die. Like, if they'd have just helped me sooner, that all could have been avoided.
Yeah.
So I we should change the whole system. Like, it's just terrible at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say just listen to the students, kind of like what you said, just listen. And if they're telling you something, just don't brush it off. Just listen to them
Yeah.
and be there.
Yeah.
So, as always, you can get your answers into the waitingfolded@gmail.com or my social media at the waitingfolded. I also
Yeah.
have a Discord, which you can join using the link tree in my bio.
Yeah.
I sound like Jack there.
Yeah, I know, I was thinking I was doing the movements and everything, I'm, like, pointing down below, and I don't know why, 'cause you can't see me.
Okay, this is my favourite segment. Sorry, question of the day,
Gosh.
but this is my favourite segment. Jess,
Yes.
what are your top 3 songs right now?
Oh my god, I'm so shocked that you asked this. Okay, this is a very difficult question, but my number 1 song at the moment, I've been streaming it all night, has to be "Keep It Classy" by Star Aurora.
Yay!
It's so good, like, I love it so much. Then my second favourite, kind of controversial in the Star community, but it's really grown on me the last couple of weeks, "Heartbreaker" by Star Aurora.
I guess it happened whilst I wasn't looking. All I know now is the flames have extinguished. I really wish I could give you a reason for this, but I just can't explain it. You know, I wish that I loved you too, but the words never came when we sat on that roof. I could blame it on nerves to tell you the truth. I'm a heartbreaker in a girlfriend's costume.
It's just iconic. Like,
We were on the live once and we all wanted Star to sing Heartbreaker, right?
yeah.
She wouldn't do it. So we all started saying we were Harrison's Heartbreakers. Harrison wanted her to sing Heartbreaker, so we said we're Harrison's Heartbreakers.
That's really good, I love that.
I came up with it, so I'm very impressed by that.
That's very smart. You come up with the funniest things sometimes, and I'm just like, I wish I could come up with them. Yeah.
And what is your third?
Star, don't get mad at me for this, but it's got to be "Annoying My Sister." It just has to be. It's not out yet, but yeah. But if you need a third one to play, then "Situationship" by Star Aurora.
Middle of the night and I'm crying on the floor. My situationship ain't a situation no more. Going through old texts, torturing myself whilst he's choosing the next girl he'll put through hell. Why does it bother me that he doesn't love me back? He's a liar and a cheater or a sociopath. Basically I dodged a bullet, but I'm sad I wasn't shot. Read the label, saw the warnings, and somehow I still forgot.
I'm still so sad not even my ex didn't make the cut. As much as I love Airport,
Yes.
what
Yeah.
happened to not even my ex?
I will say, I don't want to say I didn't like Airport, because that's not true, but Airport wasn't one of my top songs because it was a lot slower and it just wasn't as upbeat as the rest. But after
Yeah.
hearing it as much times as I've heard it this last, like, week or whatever, it hasn't even been a week yet, but this last, like, few days, it's a new favourite song of mine. I'm obsessed.
Which song surprised you other than Airport?
Keep It Classy.
I wasn't expecting Keep It Classy to be the way it was.
Neither. Like, it started and I was in shock.
Like the intro was.
Yeah.
Huh?
I was like, I didn't expect it to have that intro. And then there's one line, because you start quite low and keep it classy. There's one line that goes higher. And I'm just like, I didn't expect that jump yet. Because I've never heard it sung that way before. But it's so good. I wouldn't change that for anything. It's so incredible.
And where can people find this amazing artist, Jess?
Spotify, Apple Music, and Izzy is going to tell you the rest because I don't know.
And YouTube Music at, what's the singer's name, Jess?
Star Aurora.
She does TikTok streams as well. So everyone, if you're coming from this podcast, go comment, play Annoying My Sister, and I'll know where you came from. To finish off part 1, what is one thing you want people to know about you that they might not?
That's a really good question. Do you mean like people in real life or just people in general?
People in general.
I think people should understand that, like, I have feelings too. Like, everyone has feelings, so you always need to be careful of what you're saying. Because some people will say something to me, and as someone who thinks very literally, I'm like, oh, that's not very nice, but I don't want to say anything. So I think everyone should understand that we all have feelings.
Yeah. So that wraps up part 1. We will be back for part 2 where we get into Jess's story. Ciao for now. So now we're into your personal story with mental health, if that makes sense, and if that's okay.
Yeah, of course.
Do you think teen mental health is talked about in a way that actually helps or sometimes makes things worse?
I feel like it depends who's talking about it, because I feel like most of the time it just makes things worse because of the way it's spoken about. But if you're talking to and about the right people, it can be helpful.
What do you think?
I think for me, it's kind of like a really weird subject. So if I know what the subjects are, then it's helpful because I know what's going to happen and I'm comfortable with it. But if I don't know what's going to be talked about, then it's kind of, if it's unexpected, it kind of makes me really uncomfortable. And I'm just like, oh, I didn't know this was going to be a subject today. And it kind of just becomes a bit of a touchy subject. So in that circumstance, it's uncomfortable, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it throws you off a bit.
Yeah.
Why do you think so many people still find it hard to speak up when they're struggling?
I think because there's so many people that are like, oh, you're just attention seeking. And maybe, yeah, we are seeking attention, but that doesn't have to be a bad thing. Like, some people go about it the wrong way, of course. But, like, if you are asking for help, that's seeking attention because you need help. So I feel like the way people have put attention seeking in such a bad spotlight just makes everything so much worse.
Yeah. What's something people often say about mental health that you don't agree with?
Everyone says it's fixable. Like, oh, just take this medication and you'll be fine, or like, just stop doing that and you'll be fine. But it's not that simple of a fix from my experience, at least. Like, they put me on medication. I tried it for over a week and I was like, it just made me feel really sick. I got dizzy. There was like voices in my head and I was like, I'm not taking it anymore. I've had enough. So I stopped taking it after just under a week. They put me on a new medication and now because of the last one, I'm too scared to try it. So I feel like it's just pointless at this point and it's not fixable because it's in my head. You can't just fix someone's head, if that makes sense.
Yeah, makes sense. What do you think is the most overwhelming part of being a teenager today?
I feel like school, personally, because school consumes so much of my life at the moment, and especially with this, like, all these GCSEs, like, everyone's like, at the moment for me, I've just done my year 10 mocks. They're like, oh, it's just mocks, it's not that big of a deal, why are you crying over it, it's fine. But then one of my best friends is doing her GCSEs right now, and they're all like, oh yeah, but it's just GCSEs, it's not that big of a deal. I'm like, well, if it's not that big of a deal, why have you spent 5 years shouting at me, telling me it's the biggest moment of my life? Like,
Yeah.
I feel like it's very confusing at school, and no one explains it right, and then no one knows what's going on, and it's just, they need to sort school out. I can't lie.
Yeah. Speaking of mocks, do you think it's better that they do them in year 10, or would you rather them do it like at the start or in the middle of year 11?
I think for my school, they do something similar for every year. So year 7, 8, and 9 have end of year exams. So they all go in the hall and they do exams in, I think year 7 do English and maths, and then year 9s do science as well. And year 8's just English and maths, I think. And then year 10s, we obviously do all our subjects. But I feel like it's kind of good that we get the practice in, but also not good because we get put so much pressure on us to do well. And then when we fail because the pressure's been too much, they're kind of like, oh, I'm disappointed in you. I expected better from you. I'm like, well, there's nothing I can do. You put the pressure on me. So like I got overwhelmed, and then I couldn't do my best. And then it's kind of like a
Yeah.
spiral. And now all my grades, like my actual grades, apart from drama, which I failed, I'm quite annoyed about that. But all my other grade-wise, I'm quite happy with. But my targets, because I'm born in September, so my targets are automatically higher. And like all random useless stuff from year 7 and random stuff that make the target grades, I'm now below target in one of my subjects and well below target in everything else, which has just thrown me completely. Because if you'd just given me the grades, I would have been quite happy with it. But I feel like school really messed up on that point.
Yeah, because in Ireland, what they do is they do the mock in the year they're taking the exam. So they do it in February, and the exam would be in June. So
Oh,
they'd make the mock like harder than the actual exam. So what they do is they do the mock, and that mock gets sent to whatever company it came from.
yeah,
And then in the mock, or in the actual exam, it comes from the government. It's not made from a company.
yeah.
But what's bad about the company is you can get access to the exams. I see leaks of the mocks on TikTok the entire time. So
Oh,
what's the point then?
yeah, that kind of defeats the point, especially if it's supposed to be a harder paper to prepare you.
Yeah, because it says, oh, we actually have to study now. This is getting real.
Yeah,
And it stresses people out, saying, oh, but the JC is going to be so much harder. No, you just have to put in the work and it won't be
yeah,
as hard as the mock.
yeah. Yeah, I fully agree. Yeah.
Do you think people feel like they always have to be fine in front of others?
I don't know how other people feel, but for me, if I'm like out with someone else, I feel like I'm gonna have a panic attack or I'm gonna cry or anything, I always feel this like random need to escape or at least like pinch it off until I'm alone. So for me, 100%, yeah, I hate being upset in front of other people, but somehow I always am. It's very annoying.
Yeah, like say you're in school and you're just shaking, you're overwhelmed,
Yeah.
and it all just gets the best of you. Do you still feel like you have to run away, or do you find someone and ask for help?
I mean, I'm too scared to ask for help. So if I'm like literally, what day does it say, Sunday? I was crying in history on Friday because we were going through our mocks, and I'm not happy about my history mocks, but I'll get over it. So we were going through the mock papers, and I was like really stressed and upset because I'm not happy with my grade at all. And I put loads of revision in, like I'm just really not happy with how it went. So I was like shaking and crying, and we'd brought snacks in to like help us cope with it. And I was crying too much to eat my snacks. And I could have asked to go to the toilet or asked, because I have a reset card so I can just leave the classroom if I get overwhelmed. And I could have asked to do that, but I didn't want to put my hand up and say to my teacher, like my teacher's lovely, she definitely would have let me go. But I didn't want to put my hand up and be like, Miss, I need to go outside because I'm crying. Because then not only would she worry about me, because I never do that, but also the rest of the class would then know I'm crying and they'd be like, oh my God, it's just marks, why are you crying? Like, chill out, it's fine.
Yeah.
So I'm like, it's like fight or flight. Like I freeze. I don't do either. Like I stay where I am until the bell goes. Then I get up and I go to my next lesson, and then it repeats 5 times a day until I get to go home, and then I cry when I'm at home. Yeah. It's just a bad cycle.
Because it's very bad for schools. Like, you're in the back of the classroom, you're obviously overwhelmed. You have to
Yeah.
go through that for like 5 hours of class time,
Yeah.
and then you come home and you have to let it all out.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's worrying most parents. Like,
Yeah.
what's happening? Why is she coming home crying every day?
Yeah. I feel like, for me, I don't sit at the back of the classroom in a lot of my subjects. I sit quite near the front. But then some of my teachers are lovely and they'll notice something's wrong straight away, but they won't say anything because they don't want to interrupt the rest of the class. They'll pull me back at the end and be like, right, what's going on? But I had one teacher, I'm not going to say which one because I love her a lot. She's really great. But I was in one of my lessons and this annoying boy got moved onto my row and he was talking. I was already stressed out, like really depressed and not in the mood. And then he got moved next to me and then he was talking and I couldn't do my work. So I just sat and didn't do anything for like 10 minutes. And then she came over and she was like, are you okay? And I was like, yeah, I just can't focus. So she ended up moving me to the front so that I could do my work. And I still didn't do very much because I could still hear him and I was still in my own depressive world. But I feel like the teacher, if she'd noticed sooner, because it literally took her 10 minutes of me practically being asleep to notice something was wrong. And I feel like it shouldn't take that long, if that makes sense.
No. Why didn't he get
Yeah.
removed is what I'm wondering. Is it because of the mocks, or
What do you mean?
like, why didn't he get in trouble for talking again after being warned? Would
I
he have
don't
gotten
know.
removed?
Because he refused to sit where he was told, but then he did in the end, so he was like on his last chance already. And then he was talking a lot, got told about 10 times to shut up, but in a nice way, obviously, because my teacher's not like that. And then she moved him to my row, which is literally just the row in front. Like, the girls he was talking to are right behind me, so he didn't stop talking. And then, so that I could get on with my work, she moved me to the front, because she didn't want to move him again, because if she did move him again, then she'd have to move him out of the classroom. And then I feel like it just seems a bit excessive for him to get a break time and be out of the classroom just when he was talking too much. Like, that might just be my perspective, but yeah.
And when people are struggling, do you think they usually know where to go for help or when to go for help?
I feel like it definitely depends on your year group, because we've got like a different pastoral member for each year group. I don't know who year 8 are, but I don't know. There's like a different one for each year group. And mine this year, she's called Emma. I love her so much. She's the best. But she's always busy. So I feel like the places I can go to for help are my head of year, Emma, my pastoral officer, who will change next year, but your head of year stays with you. If you know, you know. If you're from somewhere else, you might not know that, so I'm just explaining. And then there's the bungalow, which is like in my school, like the well-being area, and if you're upset, you can go there. But you can't knock on the doors unless you have an appointment. So you have to like hope they're free, and they might not even be in school. So if I go to all 3 of those places and no one can help me, then there's nowhere I can go, and that's it. And I just have to like go back to lesson or go to the toilet or just walk around. But if I go to the toilet for too long, I get on-called and I can't walk around because otherwise I get on-called and then it's truancy and then it's an after school. And I'm like, I'm not trying to skip my lesson. I'm trying to speak to someone to get help. And I feel like if there was like a space where I could go, where there's always someone there, they might not even be there to talk to, but just a room where I can sit down and chill out, that I feel like that's what my school needs, and it doesn't have it, and I think it should have it, personally.
Yeah. What about outside of school? If people are struggling, would they know where to go?
I feel like the only place I can think of is I go home if I'm struggling. Like, if I'm out and about and there's nothing I can do, I stick it out until I get home. I feel like there's really nowhere to go if I'm out and about, if that makes sense.
And again, like for mental health supports, would they know where to go to get those mental health supports?
I mean, there's always like the helplines and the text hotlines and stuff, but I feel like some of them can be really good, But others, like, especially the ones that are, like, limited time-wise, like, I get people have to go home and live their lives and stuff, but they're all shut. Especially, like, personally, I always get depressed, like, at night and, like, early hours of the morning. So I feel like it's quite hard for me to find a helpline that is good. And I also don't wanna say something because a lot of the times, like, the way I explain it is often a lot worse than it actually is, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
Or sometimes I think I'm completely fine, and then I say it to someone and they're like, "Okay, well, you need to go to hospital and have crisis." And I'm like, "I'm not in crisis." And they're like, "Yeah, you are." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." So I feel like I don't wanna personally, I don't wanna message a hotline because what if they send an ambulance out or they send police out? And I don't wanna, like, and I have young siblings. I have a 4-year-old who I share a room with. Like, I really don't wanna, like, scare my little sister with,
Yeah.
like, ambulance arriving at 2 in the morning. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I feel
Yeah.
like,
Because she doesn't understand what's happening, and
yeah, it's really difficult to, like, try and make sure I'm coping in a way that I still feel things because I get kind of when I get depressed, I get quite numb and I just can't feel anything anymore, and I'm like, delusion and reality kinda, like, mix up and
Mhm.
that.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to cope in ways that I can still feel. But then I don't want my sister to look at me and be like, "What's that on your arm?" Like, she asked what was on my arm once, and I just burst into tears. I was like, "Oh, nothing, I'm fine, don't worry." And, like, how do I explain that to a 4-year-old? Like,
Mhm.
yeah, it's just really difficult to balance everything, I guess.
Yeah. What do you think actually helps someone feel supported in real life?
I feel like counselling and therapy, if you get on well with them, I feel like having that person you can talk to is probably one of the most helpful things because they're always there, like, you just need to phone up and make an appointment and be like, "I'm struggling, I need some help." And they're always there, it's literally their job to help you. So I
Yeah.
feel like that's what's helpful sometimes, if you put the effort in to go.
Yeah. Do you think adults always respond in the right way when teens open up?
No, I do not. I feel like they say what they think is gonna help, but
Mhm.
usually it doesn't. Like, I had this one teacher, and it was the first time that I'd said to anyone in school, like, "Oh, yeah, I'm suicidal, like, this is how I feel." Um, and she was like, "Oh, yeah, you need help." And I was like, "Oh, but I don't want help." And she was like, "Yeah, but you need it." And I was trying to say to her I said to her, I was like, "There's something I wanna say to you, but it sounds really depressing, so, like, don't freak out." And she was like, "It's fine, just say it." And I was like, "I don't know if I should." And she, like, really pressured me to say it. And I said, "I don't want help, I wanna be dead." And she was like, "That's really concerning, I'm gonna write that down." And then she wrote that down, and it's in my files, everyone knows that I've said that. And I'm like, she could have written it down and said it's concerning, but the fact she told me, like, "Oh, that's really concerning," like, I feel like that kind of freaked me out, and for a while, I was like, "I can't speak anymore," because I was scared people would look at the words on the page rather than listening to me, if that makes sense?
Yeah.
But yeah, but if
Because
they respond in the right way, it's really helpful.
because whose side are they going to look at? The adult side or the teen side?
Exactly. Like,
Obviously.
they should look at the teen side, but they always look at the adult side.
Hmm. Frustrating as it is.
Yeah.
Was there a moment where things started to feel difficult for you?
Um, I mean, the first time that I felt anxious was COVID, 'cause it was the first time I'm like, "Oh, everyone's dying." Like, that's crazy. Like, the first, like, real world thing kinda hit me, and I was about 9 or 10. Um,
Mhm.
maybe even 8, I don't remember. And then the first time I self-harmed, I was in year 6. I'd just finished or just started my SATs, and it was like I needed something to take the stress away, and I tried everything that I'd been taught, and it wasn't helping, so I did that and it worked, and everyone thought I was getting better actually, but I didn't tell them what I was doing, obviously. And then I think it was, like, year 7 or 8. I think I was in year 7, and this person, like, killed themselves, and it was the first time, like, I didn't witness it, I don't think, but, everyone was talking about it because it was right next to my school, and it was the first time I thought, like, oh, things are pretty bad. Like, maybe that's my way to stop feeling bad, if that makes sense. So I feel like that's the first time I thought about it. And then year 8 was the first time I, like, tried, obviously, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I'm very sorry about that.
Don't worry, it's fine.
What was that time in your life like day to day?
I feel like I don't really remember it because I kind of, like, blocked it out so much. But I remember I was in my room all the time. I couldn't even cry anymore at some points, like, towards, like, the middle of the episode, I was like I couldn't cry anymore, and I would cut, and I still wouldn't feel anything, and it was like I kinda just felt, like, invisible and numb, and there was, like, nothing I could do to, like, feel anymore,
Yeah.
and it was just, like I don't really know how to explain it, but it was just really strange, and I feel like no one understood me because no one was talking about it. And then 2 years later now, obviously, I'm talking about it, and so many people have come out and been like, "Yeah, I felt this way before." And now that other people have said it, I'm like, "Oh my god, like, people do feel like this." And I feel like because no one ever talks about it, I felt so outside and different and isolated, and I feel like if people were talking about it, I might have been able to explain myself better and probably not feel how I did for as long, if that makes sense. So
Yeah.
I feel like it's really important to talk about.
Yeah, and that's kind of the goal about this podcast, to raise awareness for that
Yeah.
kind of thing and trying
Yeah.
to get people to look at it from a different perspective.
Yeah, I think it's really important to talk about.
Did you notice changes in how you were feeling or acting?
Yeah, I felt like obviously I don't really remember everything, but I noticed that I pushed everyone away, and I still do that when I get, like, depressed. Like, I've been really struggling the past, like, week and a bit, um, and I've noticed I've been pushing everyone away, and I've been getting angry so easily, and I've stopped eating, I've stopped going out, I've stopped enjoying things as much. Like, I was in the car park going to see Waitress, and we had to pay for parking twice because it put the wrong registration in. And, like, it's not a big deal, but I was like, "I can't do it," gave my phone to my dad, and I sat in the car for, like, 5 minutes and just, like, cried into my sleeve because I don't wanna ruin my makeup. Um, but I was like, I was overreacting so much for no reason, and it
Yeah.
was yeah, it just I don't know how to explain it, but I feel like my reactions are so much worse than they need to be when I get like this, if that makes sense.
Yeah. How did you cope on the harder days?
This is gonna sound quite depressing, but I didn't. I I didn't do anything healthy. I would lie in bed, I would self-harm, I would think about suicide. Like, there was a point in my life, I think it was last year, like September or something, so nearly a year ago, I would, like I couldn't sleep at night. So in order to get myself to sleep, I would think about all the different ways I could die. And then because that's how I was getting myself to sleep, I would wake up in the middle of the night. Like, I would wake up to have a panic attack because then my dreams were, like, terrible, and they were,
Yeah.
like, the worst nightmares I've ever had, and there was nothing I could do about it because if I didn't think these dark thoughts before bed, I couldn't sleep. But if I didn't sleep, then I looked like and everyone would worry about me. I don't know if I can swear, I probably shouldn't. But I looked rubbish and everyone would worry about me. And I just felt sort of trapped in this cycle. And then I spoke to people and they were like, there's nothing we can do, but just keep talking about it. And the talking did help, but I just wish there was something more they could do for me, if that makes sense.
Because they can't really do much for like teens because we're still growing and we're still developing. So I guess CAMs can't really do much until we're like 18 or something
Yeah.
because they can't really do much to children or teens.
Yeah.
They
Yeah,
don't
that's
they don't have the funding for it either. So
yeah. The way they're putting funding into the wrong things at the moment is
it's not
crazy.
great.
Yeah,
And they wonder why the suicide rate is so high.
exactly. Yeah.
Was there anyone or anything that made a difference for you?
Um, that's a really good question. I feel like I don't want to sound like weird on the podcast, but probably you, because like when I was struggling, like the hardest days of my life, like you were there, and
Mhm.
sometimes you were the only person who was there for me. Like, and I could message you all the time. You always responded, even when you were going through stuff yourself. Like, it was always really helpful to talk to you because you understood what I was going through, and you always said the right thing. I don't know how, but you always said the right thing, and it was just really helpful to, like, especially, like, just to hear your voice on a hard day. Like, I had this one voice note, I don't remember what it was now, but I had this one voice note saved in our chats, and I would go back and listen to it on a sad day, and it was just really helpful. But
Oh,
yeah.
I will always be here, you know that.
Yeah. Good.
I will. You're not getting rid of me that easily, Jess. Did you feel like you could talk about it at the time?
Um, Not really. Like, everyone kind of pressured me to talk about it,
Mm-hmm.
and I just wasn't ready yet.
Mm.
'Cause, like, I was in my crisis camps appointment, and they were like, "Do you wanna get better?" And I was like, "Well, I have to say yes, because if I say no, then they're gonna be more concerned." So I just said yes, and they were like, "Oh, good, that's the first step." And I was like, "Yeah, okay, whatever." Um, Kind of just sitting there, letting them talk at me rather than talking to them.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I feel like because I was pressured to talk about it, I didn't want to. But now that I stand my own ground and I'm like, if I'm ready to talk about it, I will. And if I'm not in the right headspace to talk about it, I'll wait until I am.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes that worries people because I'll say to them, like, I'm struggling, but I'm not ready to talk about it yet. I'll speak to you when I'm ready. And then they get all concerned, like, oh, like, well, that's really scary. Like, you need to talk to me. And I'm like, I don't need to do anything. I'm doing this because otherwise you're not going to hear the right things. And yeah, I feel like when I think about it in my own terms, then it's a lot easier to talk about, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So, what helped you start feeling more like yourself again?
Um, I don't know. I feel like when I got into theatre, that was really helpful because I always loved drama since like primary school. I always loved acting and stuff like that. But when we did Shrek the musical when I was in year 8, and I was going through a really hard time at that point, obviously. Or maybe it was year 9. Yeah, it was year 9. Um, oh, I don't remember. The years blur. But I was doing Shrek, and I've been hurting myself a lot, and I've been struggling to like keep myself alive. And in my head, I had a date and a plan, and I was like, after Shrek, I've got no more responsibilities. Everything's done. That's when I'm finished, and I'm done with life. I'm done with all of this. It's over. Um, and then after Shrek, like Shrek was like my whole purpose to live. And then because Shrek was such a highlight, I feel like it gave me that extra push to stay longer. And then it gave me that push to stay until the Legally Blonde audition packets came out. And then Legally Blonde was my new purpose. And then again this year, I was like, I had a date, I had a plan. I was like, after Legally Blonde, that's all my things over. I'm done. Had enough. And then it just gave me that push to get not only through Legally Blonde week, but through until we get the auditions for 9 to 5. And obviously, you haven't even auditioned yet. My auditions are on Tuesday, so wish me luck.
Good
Um,
call.
Thank you. But it kind of gives me that push to get to the next chapter in life, if that
Mhm.
makes sense. And I feel like it's really helpful to have something that motivates me in life, if that makes sense.
Because it's your last musical for your school, isn't it? You're year 11 now.
Not yet. I'm year
Not
11
yet, in September.
so don't
Get
scare
there.
me. Yeah.
What's something you understood about yourself or understand about yourself now that you didn't before?
I feel like I understand that I am in control. Like, because I feel like I've always let other people control what I think and how I act. And I feel like I understand, like, I'm not gonna just listen to other people because I'm told to. Like, I'm gonna do what I want because, like, this is my life. Like, everyone's doing their own thing. We're all getting through this life. So I need to do it my way, and it doesn't really matter what other people think, if that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you do anything now that helps you stay grounded when things feel overwhelming?
I feel like music helps me quite a lot. I feel like music's the one thing that kind of like hold me down because like I'll listen to music and be like, okay, I can breathe again, and then it's kind of weird. I breathe to the beat of the song, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So it's always nice to like have music to fall back on. It's really like a safety net for me.
What's one thing you would say to someone who feels like they're dealing with things alone?
I would say find your person and your activity because there is someone out there who feels the same way as you. Whether you can't find them yet, they're out there.
Yeah.
And don't stay silent about it because when you're staying silent about it, it's kind of making others feel less alone because if no one's talking about it, everyone feels really isolated in the way they feel. But if everyone's talking about it, it kind of normalizes it,
Mhm.
which obviously we don't want to romanticize it because we don't want to make it seem like it's a good thing. But if it's normal, at least everyone sort of understands and feels the same way. And if
Yeah.
you have an activity you look forward to, it kind of keeps you grounded in a sense, like, there's always something to look forward to. There's something keeping you going, something motivating you to keep trying, if that makes sense.
Yeah. What's one thing you wish people realized about how someone is struggling but doesn't show it?
I wish, like, people could understand I think I've already said this, but everyone has feelings. Like,
Mhm.
just because you don't see them doesn't mean they're not there,
Mhm.
because they are there, and I feel like all everyone has is feelings. Like, I think Billie Eilish said this, like, all people do is feel. Like, it's all you have. So, like, when people ignore other people's feelings, I'm like, how are you doing that? Because, like, it's all people do is feel. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, if that kind of makes sense.
If someone is listening and doesn't know how to start talking about how they feel, what would you say to them?
I mean, something that's helped me personally, obviously it won't work for everyone, but writing, when I was in year 7, I used to write songs and I kind of moved on to poetry. So doing like sometimes it's easier to write your thoughts down rather than speak out loud about them.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
for me, like with the poetry, like I always like rhyme in my poetry because if I'm rhyming it, I don't want to say it makes it feel less real, but it feels less real, I guess. Like it doesn't feel as intimidating because it's just easier to hear if it's rhyming, I guess, for me at least. If
Yeah.
yeah.
What do you hope people will take away from hearing your story today?
Um, I hope people understand that they're not alone and there's always someone going through what you're going through. Like, obviously no one understands exactly how you feel, but there's always someone who is there to help you and you just need to find what works for you. And it could take 10 years, but if you find it and you stick it out, there is so much life left for you to live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And last question for today. If you could
Mhm.
change one thing about how we talk about mental health in general, what would it be?
Um, I would change that the way people who don't struggle with it talk about it.
Mhm.
Because I feel like there's so many people, specifically online, who are like saying all these things, and I'm like, you haven't struggled a day in your life. Like, and obviously I don't know anything about that person, but they're saying like, oh, I've never struggled with it, but here's what I've been told. And I'm like, it's not the same as coming from someone who struggled with it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I feel like I don't know how to explain it, but I feel like everyone needs to understand that you need to like I don't know how to explain it, but I feel like you know what I mean, if that makes
Yeah.
sense. Yeah.
And unfortunately, that is all we have time for today.
No. That's so
Yeah.
sad.
But we will have to get you on again. Like I,
Yay.
like I said in the last week's episode, I'll have to get you talking to Jenny because she's into musicals, you're into musicals, and it's
Yeah.
just great to see the different side of things.
Yeah.
So thanks again for coming on.
Thank you so much for having me.
And now we have to edit. We did this filming together, we're editing together. Great. Thank you for coming on. Bye.
Thank you so much for having me. Bye. I've been Jess, and thank you for listening to my story.
I've been Izzy, and thank you for listening to The Wait Unfolded. A quick reminder to send your answers to this week's question of the day to thewaitunfolded@gmail.com or through my social media at The Wait Unfolded. Use the subject line Episode 5 Question of the Day, and don't forget to tell me your name and where you're from to be featured in next week's episode. This week's question is, what's one thing schools could do better for student mental health? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Thank you again to Jess for joining me today, and thank you all for listening. Take care of yourselves, have a great week, and remember, dreams unfold in many ways. Bye everyone!